And we can now move on to the the team scores. Now, team score, that was question 7. I think this is the other question that some students struggled with. And so let's take a look at this. So it says for each team, calculate score in field D and display the team score. This is the sum of all medal scores of all athletes. The best athlete's score is calculated 3 times. Okay. And so what this boils down to is this technically is a basic calculation where you multiply every single, you add up every single athlete score. So let's ignore this line for now. Let's ignore that, and let's just say if we were just to look at this question and assume that this doesn't exist, this line doesn't exist, how would we work this out? And this is a really basic problem because it just says sum up all your medal scores for all your athletes. So let's go here and let me just remove that space, and we're going to start off here. So we again have to go through every single athlete in every single team. So I'm going to have dim TA as integer, and I am going to have my 4t is equal to 1 to n teams. xt for A is equal to 1 to n athletes. Next A, and remember that because we have to do it for every single team, I'm going to start off by initializing my total for each team's total score. So I go sports t dot score is equal to 0 because I'm going to add everything up, and we go sports t dot score is plus equal to, in other words, the same as sports t dot score is equal to sports t dot score plus sports t dot athletes a dot medal score. Okay, so this, ladies and gentlemen, is how we would have answered the question if this line did not exist. Okay, this would have just been, please add up the score together, and once you finish entering the score, please display it as in athletes plus 2 strings sports t dot score. Okay, this would have been it. But the complexity here was just that the best athlete score is calculated 3 times. And how do we do that? Well, you can do it in a number of ways. And perhaps you will have done it differently from me. But remember, the idea is to keep it as simple as possible, and the most straightforward, direct way of doing this would have been as follows. Inside the for next loop, I might have said, okay, I am going to use an if statement, right? Or this is what I would have done. After the for next loop, I would have said sports t dot score plus, okay, is equal to, or we can say plus equal sports t dot athletes. Then where it's A, I would have said sports t dot best athlete dot net score times 2. Now this is one way of doing it. So can anyone just maybe speak up and explain what I'm trying to do here? Any person wishing to speak up about this? Nobody? Nobody wants to explain my craziness? Okay, RJ Zeta, would you like to explain line 112 for the rest of the class?
Yeah. I think after you went through every athlete that is in the team, you add then 2, then you add you multiply the score of the best athlete and add it to the other one, so it will be added 3 times.
Yes, that's basically what I've done. So as RJ Zeta has suggested, and I'm glad your mic is working again now, So the idea here is, without this line of code, all we've done is we have added every single athlete and they all count once. However, the question here specifically said, please calculate the best athlete score 3 times. Okay, so what I've done here is effectively, I said, well, after I've done the adding, so everything has been added once, right? Now, because it's been added once, it means that this question now, that best athlete score has already been calculated once, but I still need to do it another 2 times. And in order for me to do it another 2 times, this is where I've got my line of code here. After that total, before I display it, I go, you know that score? I need to add it another 2 times. And the way I add it another 2 times is where it's athletes A. I'm not going to go use athletes A. I'm going to use the best athlete because I know where the best athlete is. The best athletes, and I say, you know the best athlete's medal score? Multiply that by 2 and add it to the final score. So if we do it that way, then we would have added it 3 times in total. So to give you an example, let's open up Excel. Okay. So in Excel, let's say the best, let's say this is athlete 1 and athlete 2 and athlete 3. And let's say the athlete 1 score was 10 and the athlete 2 score was 27 and athlete 3 was 3. Okay. We can all tell from here that the best athlete is 27. So what my code has done is, first it said, let's add all 3 of them up together. All right. And so when we add it all up together, we get a total of 40. Okay. But now 40 is if we added all of them together only. But we want to add up that 3 times in total. So what we're doing here is, after we added it up to 40, my next line of code there then says, you know, back to the best athlete, take their medal score and multiply it by 2. So what we've done is say, well, that's the best athlete. Take that, multiply it by 2, so then I get 54, and take that 54 and add it to the 40. So that means your total is now 94. Does that make sense for most of you? Let me read some of the comments. Okay, so Alagavi is saying, oh, it makes sense now. This is what was confusing me. Then Kaz Lichman says, you can also use the index to find the middle score of the best athlete and multiply it by 2, as it already counted the third value when you calculated the example. Okay, so what they've done is sports team T dot team score plus equal athletes A. Ooh, this is a lot of complicated. Okay, all right, so you can do that. Now, maybe most of you didn't do it this way. Maybe most of you actually did this instead. And perhaps this is the more direct way. And this is what you might have done. So inside the for next loop, you check the following. If A is equal to sports T dot best athlete, then how many of you would have done it this way? Anyone would have taken this approach? Okay, Case Lichman's approach is very similar to the one I've got, where I said, well, I've added it already, I'm going to add another 2. Okay, ST Matangu said, nope, it's too long for them. All right. Well, how did you answer yours? How would you have done it? This is not about it being too long. This is about, if you were in a semester test, what would you have done? And made sure that it worked. See, if you don't have solutions, then you have to have one of these. And I suspect that many of you might have done it this way. And the reason why how this works is as follows. So while you're navigating through every single element in the array, in other words, look at this. While you're navigating through every single element of the array and adding it, what you're now doing is you're checking your A. Because remember, A is first 1, and you say A. A is 1 is 1 the same value as my best athlete index. If it's a match, then it means that this is my current best. And you see that, well, my current best is obviously the value 2. So my best athlete is the value 2. And at the moment, A is 1. So is 1 equal to 2? No, it's not. So we are just going to add 10 to the value. Okay, let me just move this up. So I'm just going to go to else, and I go, let me just add the meta score as 1 only. But then I need to go on to the second one where A is 2, and we say, well, is 2 the same value as my best index? Yes, it is. So in other words, when I add it, I'm going to add 27, but I'm going to add 27 times 3 immediately to my current total. So in doing so, you're checking, oh, okay, we're out of time, but I'm just finishing off this, question 7. So ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you all understand this question. All right. And what I'm going to do is I would suggest to you look at this option, line 116, or look at lines 110 to 114 based on how I've changed it.